Hey guys, welcome to the podcast titled Seriously, Who Asked? Because who asked? The angle does look better up here. It does fit better up here. I feel like I'm not looking down at you from this angle. But then the glasses are like reflecting the screen that's here because I have 3 basic prompts and the aim of this is to just see where the hell I go. Because who knows? I also don't have a microphone, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, it kind of is because the audio is going to be horrific. But it's fine. It's fine. I mean, I'm getting one, so it's not all going to be like this. But this is the starting episode of the podcast. I called it Seriously, Who Asked? Because seriously, who asked? I just wanted to start a podcast because I'm a very heavy yapper. I'm a yapper. I talk and I talk and I talk. But not to everyone. And so I have like a handful of specific friends who just get the brunt of my waffle that I just like keep inside at all times. And I feel like by starting a podcast, it will help get it out. It's also like a good grounding mechanism for me, just to like actually talk and just like be in the moment of the experience. So that's where this podcast is going. 90% of it is going to be me waffling about the most random stuff that has come into my brain and I've wanted to speak about. So right now, I literally have to go to work. I don't have my watch on. Hold on. Let me put my watch on. So I have to go to work in like an hour. I have to leave in about an hour. But I literally could not wait. I really wanted to start this and I could not wait. So here we are right now. I really think that's so much better. That's so much better. I don't need that screen there anyways. So I feel like I should start with a little introduction. My name is Ree. I am 18. I was about to say I'm 19. I'm turning 19 in 7 days. I'm turning 19 in a week today. But I'm currently 18. I'm at uni. I'm studying musical theatre. That is a very big part of my life. I'm studying musical theatre. So a lot of this waffle it probably won't, to be honest. It's a big part of my life, but I like doing it more than I like experiencing it. As in like watching shows and like knowing all. I'm not a musical theatre nerd in the terms of like, oh, I know all of the performers. I know all of the songs for every musical known to man. I'm not one of them. I just like singing and I like acting. And I'm not a great dancer, but you know what? We're developing that skill. That skill is to be determined for the future. But yeah, I'm currently studying musical theatre at university. I'm going into my second year in October. It's currently June, but going into my second year in October, which is kind of daunting. Like, this year has gone by so insanely quickly. I just was like not expecting it to be that fast. And I feel like that's kind of the thing with the first year of university for everyone. Because if you can't tell, this is my backdrop right now. I live at home. So I go to uni, but I live at home. I live down the road from my university. And I just perchance had a university that did my course, a course that I wanted to do. They did it in the town I live in. So it's not the end of the world. I didn't really want to move out. Not because I didn't want to. I kind of just like didn't understand the concept of it and like how it would all work, and that side of it stressed me out. So I didn't want to do it all because like my parents didn't really understand it much either. So I had no one to be like, how do I do this? No one talks about how confusing it actually is to move out, because I am moving out now. I'm moving out for next year. even though I'm staying at the university I'm in, I'm just moving out with some people because I want to experience living on my own. Because like now all of my friends I'm surrounded by now, they all live with people. They live away from home, and I'm still living with my mummy. So I just want to have the experience of moving out because that might be fun. The contract's only a year and I'm moving out in a few weeks, so this won't be the permanent backdrop. This probably won't even be the backdrop for the first like 4 episodes because I'm moving out in under a month. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah. Anyways, I'm studying musical theatre at university. I do quite like musical theatre. I'm a performer, and you'll probably learn that about me. I love playing characters. I love acting. I love acting so much. I love the idea of like just being put into a completely different situation that is not at all similar and could never happen to you in real life. And just like being put in the mindset of like just a rando who is a rando, but then you grow to learn and like create this character in your head and it just becomes a part of you in a different way. I love, I'm an acting nerd. I love learning about specific actors. I have actor hyperfixations is what I like to call them. I will watch a show and then I will see an actor and I'm looking and I'm like, they are incredible. 50% of the time it's because they're really attractive. But the other 50% of the time is because they're incredible actors and they've just caught my attention because I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm having a visceral reaction to what is happening on the screen right now. And when both of those combine, that's a great day. I love when that happens. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a movie person. Definitely not. I'm not a movie person. I don't really like consume that much media in that sense, like movies and shows and even like musicals. Like I just don't consume it that much. I'm a heavy YouTube girly. I always have been. But yeah, I'll watch a show and I'll be like, hold on, that's incredible. And then I will watch it over and over and over and over again. Like Arcane, for example. I'll watch it over and over again until I physically get bored and I can't hear anything about it for ages. Like even Arcane now. I watched it 10 plus times. When the second season came out, I repeated that shit like there was no tomorrow. But I haven't watched it since like January. But I still love the show. But like give me a few more months and I'll probably become re-obsessed with it. Like I'm also currently watching, I just finished watching Ginny and Georgia. Oh, that show is incredible. Like I put off watching Ginny and Georgia. I'm going to go on a Ginny and Georgia tangent now. I put off watching Ginny and Georgia for years, because I can barely breathe when you are near. Season 1 was a hard watch. It was a hard watch because I hate getting secondhand embarrassment from shows or like movies or anything. Like sitcoms, I'm so particular on the sitcoms that I like because, first of all, sitcoms with a laughing track, I can't unhear it in my head. Friends, okay, I'm not actually going to dive into Friends because I will get bullied off the internet with my opinion that stands on Friends. But what was I talking about? Oh, Ginny and Georgia. The first season was a hard watch because of the secondhand embarrassment I was receiving. That's where I was going with it. Secondhand embarrassment, I had to skip through a decent amount of just like specific scenes where I'm like, yeah, I can't watch this because my head is going against that wall any second now. But the more I got into it, my brother was trying to get me to watch Ginny and Georgia. And so I did. And so when season 3 came out, literally less than a month ago, season 3 came out and it was all over all of my social medias. And I was like, maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe I'll give it a go. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I have such a struggle with getting into shows. I literally cannot do it. I can't like a show. If someone forces me, or if someone tells me to watch something or forces me to watch something, that just gives me more of a reason in my head to not want to. Like, for example, when I was a kid, if my mum would tell me to clean my room, I'm just like not doing it out of spite now. It's not even out of spite. It feels like it's out of spite, but I know it's not out of spite. But I don't know what it is. Anyways, that's besides the point. I don't even remember what the point was. But back to my performing era. I am so specific with what shows and movies I'll watch. I don't really watch anything unless it's something to do with an actor hyperfixation, like I was saying. Like right now, through watching Ginny and Georgia, I have become hyperfixated on Katie Douglas. And I'd heard of her before because I didn't even remember where I heard of her, but I had definitely heard of her before. And then I watched Ginny and Georgia and I was like, this woman is an incredible actor. She was incredible. And then I looked up her IMDb and she has done a lot of like horror, not really horror stuff, but like psychological sort of like darker stuff. And I was like, this makes so much sense for me seeing her as like acting out a teenage girl in high school in Ginny and Georgia, but then like seeing that she has done stuff like Level 16, which is like a psychological thriller, or like Believe Me. That is incredible. And I love actors that can just portray dark characters so well, because then like I'll watch an interview with them and they'll be like bubbly and crazy and I'm like, that is what I love about acting, is because you can act, you can portray people that are so unlike you. There is no tomorrow, but like you would never know. Like I wouldn't be surprised if someone was portraying a dark character and then they're like kind of dark and mysterious and gloomy in real life. But it's the case of like, because I know my favorite thing about acting is just like getting to step out of myself when I'm on a stage or like behind a camera, just not being myself and having the confidence to be something completely different because it's not myself. Like I did Sister Act a few years back, like a year ago, just over a year ago, and I played the lead. I played Dolores Van Cartier. If you've watched the movie, you'll know who that is, or seen the musical. And if you know who that is, she is diva to the max. That woman, she is a woman. That woman is the most sassy, the most diva. She will speak her truth. She will command any room she is in. And I just loved that about her because that is not me. My friends, some people will say different about me, but my main thing about me is that I feel like I'm quite shy. But when I can be someone else on a stage that is an extrovert, that is loud, just the idea of being someone completely different. I feel like I've said that a million times, but just like Dolores was so different to who I am as a person, but getting to play someone who's not me whatsoever is just so fun. And that kind of also transfers into my day-to-day life, but that's different. That's more to get into. But yeah, this is just kind of like an overview of me and my thoughts. There's a ghost in my house. Some thoughts on everything, really. Basically just about me. Like I've been doing performing not for that long, really. I didn't really do it as a kid because I didn't really have the opportunities to do it as a kid. I'd always loved singing, always loved singing. I would participate in any concert, any choir, anything like that. And then I don't actually remember what drove me to I took drama GCSE, and I fell in love with it. So it wasn't really until I was like, how old was I? 14 when I started my GCSEs. It wasn't really until I was 14 which I started to fall in love with acting. And it's never really been from the perspective of, because I know that a lot of actors and performers say like, oh, I was obsessed with watching these shows as a kid, and like I always wanted to be on the stage or on the screen. That was never really the case for me. It was like, but then again, I don't actually remember what persuaded me to take up drama, but it was through my drama teacher and my drama classes. I just loved playing characters, and ever since then it's just like been a main bit in my heart. I love it to pieces. It is my favorite thing ever. But it's never really come from a place of seeing actors on stage or seeing performers on a screen and being like, I want to be you. Now it is. Now it 100% is. That is definitely the case now. I would kill to be on the big stage, or the big stage, on a big stage or the big screen. I would die. But that's the whole reason why I'm studying the course I am. I don't know. I am really not fussed about where in the industry I go is my thing. So I feel like that's something I might need to decide. Or maybe it's good that I'm more lenient about it. But my tummy's rumbling. But I would love to be a singer. I love writing songs. I love playing instruments. I love doing music. All of that side. I would also love to be a screen actor, because I have an obsession with watching just people be so different. And that's the whole point in my head. It's just like being able to portray something so powerful and sharing such an important message through a creative aspect. And I love it. I would love to be a screen actor, but I would also love to be a stage performer, like a musical theatre. What's the name? Is it just a performer? A musical theatre person? Is there a word for it? I don't even know if there's a word for it, but I would love to do that. I would eat that shit up like there is no tomorrow. But I'd love to do anything to do with the creative industry. Even like the writing aspect, the directing side, I think is something that I really want to like delve into, because I am not very good at having a commanding presence. Like when I did a show a few months back, I was put as the assistant director, and that was a really like eye-opening experience for me, because I had never done anything like that. I feel like I'm very good to be directed, but I don't think I'm very good at directing. But I still love the idea of it, and just like seeing something in your head come into fruition in that way, with like real people doing what has just been in your head, and like seeing it come out onto a stage or onto a screen. I think that's so incredible. And my preference would be to be in front rather than behind. However, I am 100% not opposed to delving, I think, a bit deeper into the idea of being behind the camera and seeing what happens all of there, because I'm completely inexperienced in that subject. Completely inexperienced. I have no clue. I don't know where this is going, how it's getting out, what is happening with this. I don't know how any of this works. I don't know how I can even use a microphone. Like, I have zero clue. But I always have loved doing stuff like this. Like, when I was a kid, I had a YouTube channel, and I would post vlogs, and I would post like singing covers or whatever it was. I've always loved just posting on social media. It's been an obsession for years. And I'm doing this to kind of care less about my social media presence, because I've always wanted to start a podcast for years of my life. Like, I remember, and I've always wanted it to be one where it's just me waffling, because I remember when Emma Chamberlain's podcast came out, and I used to listen to that podcast religiously and just be like, she's literally just a baddie chatting to her camera, and that's all it is. And I loved it. I would eat that shit up. I really admired how she could just lay in her bed and sit and talk in front of a camera for an hour. And I've always wanted to do the same thing, but it's always been like weary in my head about like, oh, but how would people in real life react to it? But now I feel like recently there's been like this this glaze over my life. Not really my life, but just like my sight and my head. And I feel like recently that's just like peeling off, and I'm starting to see everything the way I've always wanted to see it, and start doing stuff for myself rather than having a concern about what other people are going to think. And so this is why it's taken so long. I mean, also at the time I was a kid. I'm an adult now. When I was a kid, these were like silly little thoughts and dreams. But I'm an adult now, and I'm an adult so I can actually make my own decisions and them not be deemed as immature or silly, which I think was a big case throughout my whole childhood. Is that like I would constantly be perceived as like, oh, she's just got a little dream. But now if I put in the effort to do things that I want to do, I can do them, and no one can stop me. No one can stop me, and I don't care where this goes, as in like how far it's going to go, what's going to happen. This could be one episode. I can never do this again. I will probably do this again. But you get my point. I can never do this again, but I wouldn't mind, because I've tried it and I will keep trying. And I think it's a case of finding something and sticking with it and being persistent, because if I'm not persistent, I won't do it. I have to really have it in my head and keep going and keep trying, constantly learning more, asking advice from other people even to do what I want to do. Because I think this is something that is really, really healthy for me. And, oh God, don't look at my legs. I think this is something that's really, really helpful and healthy for me in just like understanding myself better, specifically a podcast, understanding myself better, becoming friends with my thoughts is a big thing. Just becoming friends with the way I think and actually understanding my thought process for a lot of things, because that's been something I lack. I'm a heavy overthinker, and I also speak really quickly a lot when I'm trying to get things out. So if you probably couldn't tell because you don't know me right now, I've been trying to speak a lot slower than I usually do, because if I speak really quickly, then my thoughts don't get out. My mouth moves quicker than my head does. My mouth moves quicker than my head does, and I had a stutter as a kid, because I would speak before I thought. And that's caused me a few problems in the past. But that's besides the point. I'm an adult now, and I can healthily and confidently pursue what I like. And this is literally just a hobby. That's all it is. This is gonna get zero. No, that's me being pessimistic. I don't want to be pessimistic. I want to help. I want to be relatable in the sense of like, I want to share my experiences and my thoughts on things, and hoping that people are like, wait, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, or like help people understand themselves whilst I'm helping understand myself, because I've not understood myself for a very long time, and it just kind of feels like I need to do something like this in order to just make more sense of who I am as a person, what I feel, all of the above. But yeah, that's about it. Cute little introduction. I think a lot of it was waffle, but that's besides the point. I mean, what is the point of a podcast? What is the point of a girly coming to yap? You know, let me have my fun. Next time, hopefully, I will have a microphone. I was gonna use these, right? Only wired headphones I could find in my whole house. But hold on, let me show you. Let me show you what this does. This was the point for me to be sat here. Oh yeah, the microphone on these headphones cut out like crazy, and they just like make the annoying like noise. So that didn't end up happening, but next time I will hopefully have a microphone. Just to make it a bit more crystal clear for you guys. But I'm really excited to see where this goes, and I'm really excited to plan out different episodes and just like speak about completely different things, because I could go on tangents for hours. And if this does go anywhere, and if you've reached this far, and if you're like, oh, I think she could have an intellectual conversation with herself about this topic, let me know. Let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, my socials, my Instagram, I'll put my Instagram in the caption. I think I'm going to be trying to put this on Spotify. So if this has made it to Spotify, it will also be in the caption. I don't want to self-promo because I don't care. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you liked it, share it to your mates and be like, wait, she's actually kind of fun. Like, I would actually listen to a podcast. Like actually, like, she should start doing something proper. Like, anyways, that's it from Seriously Who Asked. I've been yapping for half an hour, and that feels so strange but so great to me. So okay, that's it. That's all I have for you. Mwah. Bye.